Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to EnglishKul. So, yesterday we have completed our 11-day journey and it's the 12th day of 100-day reading challenge to make fluency perfect. Uh, and it's chapter 13. Who those are new in this channel, let me know for who them that I am reading this book, Atomic Habit. And I will continue reading 100 days to one book to another book because we have taken the challenge of reading challenge 100 days. And uh, if you also want to make uh, yourself confident to speaking English, so we can make a community. So I have shared a number in description box, so you can message me or comment me below to this video. Number is 987397679. Please comment and message me. So it's a chapter 13 and 11th and 12th day. Yeah, 12th day, chapter 13 of Atomic Book. How to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. I begin each day of my life with a ritual. She writes, I wake up at 5:30 a.m., put on my workout clothes, my leg warmers, my sweatshirt, and my hat. I walk outside my Manhattan home, hail a taxi, and tell a driver to take me to the Pumping Iron Gym at 91st Street and First Avenue, where I work out for 2 hours. The ritual is not the stretching and weight training I put my body through each morning at the gym. The ritual is the cab. The moment I tell the driver where I go, I have completed the ritual. It is a simple act, but doing it the same way each morning, habitualize it, make it repeatable, easy to do. It reduces the chance that I would skip it or do it differently. It is one more item in my arsenal of routines, and one last thing to think about. Researchers estimate that 40 to 50% of our actions on any given day are done out of habit. This is already a substantial percentage, but the true influence of your habit is even greater than these numbers suggest. Habits are automatic choice that influence the conscious decision that follows. Yes, a habit can be completed in just a few seconds, but it can also shape the action that you take for minutes or hours afterward. Habits are like the entrance a ramp to a highway. They lead you down a path, and before you know it, you are speeding towards the next behavior. It seems to be easier to continue what you are already doing than to start doing something different. You sit through a bad movie for 2 hours. You keep snacking even when you are already full. You check your phone for just a second and soon you have spent 20 minutes starting at the screen. In this way, the habits you follow without thinking often determine the choice you make or when you are thinking. Every day, there are a handful of movements that deliver an outsized impact. I refer to these little choices as decisive movements. The moment you decide between overriding, between ordering takeout or cooking dinner, the moment you choose between Driving your car or riding your bike, the moment you decide between starting your homework or grabbing the video game controller. These choices are a force in the world. We are limited by where our habits lead us. This is why mastering the steering moments throughout your day is so important. Each day is made up of many moments, but it is really a few habitual choices that determine the path you take. These little choices stack up, each one setting the, the trajectory for how you spend the next chunk of time. Habits are the entry points and not the end point. They are the cab and not the gym. The 2 minutes rule. Even when you know you should start small, it's easy to start too big. When you dream about making a change, excitement inevitably takes over and you end up trying to do too much too soon. The most effective way I know to counteract this tendency is to use the 2 minute rule, which states when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. You will find that nearly any habit can be scaled down into a 2 minute version. Read before bed each night becomes read one page. Uh, do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out your yoga mat. Study for class becomes open your notes. Fold the laundry becomes fold one pair of socks. Run 3 miles becomes tie my running shoe. You can usually figure out the gateway habits that will lead to your desired outcome by mapping out your goals on a scale from very easy to very hard. For instance, running a marathon is very hard. Running a 5 kilometer is hard. Walking 10,000 steps is moderately difficult when 10 minutes is easy. And putting on your running shoe is very easy. Your goal might be run to marathon, but your gateway habit is to put on your running shoe. That's how you follow the 2 minute rule. People often think it's weird to get hyped about reading one page or meditating for 1 minute or making one self call. But the point is not to do one thing. The point is to master the habit of showing up. The truth is a habit must be stabilized before it can be improved. If you can't learn the basic skill of showing up, then you have little hope of mastering the finer details. Instead of trying to engineer a perfect habit from the start, do the easy thing on a more consistent basis. You have a standardized before you can optimize. The 2 minute rule can seem like a trick to some people. You know that the real goal is to do more than just 2 minutes. So it may feel like you are trying to fool yourself. Nobody is actually aspiring to read one page or do one push up or open their notes. If you know it's a mental trick, why would you fall for it? One of my readers used this strategy to lose over 100 pounds. In the beginning, he went to the gym each day, but he told himself he wasn't allowed to stay for more than 5 minutes. He would go to the gym, exercise for 5 minutes, and leave as soon as his time was up. After a few weeks, he looked around and thought, well, I am always coming here anyway. I might as well start staying a little longer. A few years later, the weight was gone. Journaling provides another example. Nearly everyone can benefit from getting their thoughts of their head and onto paper. But most people give up after a few days or avoid it entirely because journalism feels like a chore. The secret is to always stay below the point where it feels like work. Strategies like this work for another reason too. They reinforce the identity you want to build. If you show up at the gym 5 days in a row, even if it's just for 2 minutes, you are casting vote for your new identity. You are not worried about getting in shape. You are focused on becoming the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. You are taking the smallest action that confirms the type of person you want to be. We really think about change this way because everyone is consumed by the end goal. But one push up is better than not exercising. 1 minute of guitar practice is better than none at all. 1 minute of reading is better than never picking up a book. It's better to do less than you hoped than to do nothing at all. At some point, once you have established the habit and you are showing up each day, you can combine the 2 minute rule with a technique. We can habit shaping to scale your habit back up towards your ultimate goal. Start by mastering the first 2 minutes of the smallest version of the behavior, then advance to an intermediate step and repeat the process, focusing on just the first 2 minutes and mastering that stages before moving on to the next level. Eventually you will end up with the habit you had originally hoped to build while still keeping your focus where it should be, on the first 2 minutes of the behavior. Nearly any larger goal, Nearly any larger life goal can be transformed into a 2 minute behavior. I want to live a healthy and long life. I need to stay in shape. I need to exercise. I need to change into my workout clothes. I want to have a happy marriage. I need to be a good partner. I should do something each day to make my partner life easier. I should meal plan for next week. Whenever you start struggling to stick with a habit, you can employ the 2 minute rule. It's a simple way to make up your habits easy. And for that, this is the end of chapter 13. It's the summary of the chapter. There are 5 bullet points. First, habits can be completed in a few seconds but continue to impact your behavior for minutes or hours afterward. Many habits occur as deceive movements, choices that are like a fork in the road and either stand you in the direction of a productive day or an unproductive one. Third, the 2 minute rule states when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Fourth, the more you ritualize the beginning of a process, the more likely it becomes that you can slip into the state of deep focus that is required to do great things. Last and fifth, standardize before you're optimized. You can't improve a habit that doesn't exist. So this was the end of chapter 13. Guys, again I'm requesting please like and subscribe and comment below, and also message me on community number which is 98739 Please be confident, make your fluency in speaking and get successful, be rich. So we have around 10-20 minutes more, so we can read today a 14th chapter as well. So let's get started. Second chapter of the day and 14th chapter of the book, how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Start. In the summer of 1830, Victor Hugo was facing an impossible deadline. 12 months earlier, the French author had promised he published a new book, but instead of writing, he spent that years pursuing other projects, entertaining guests, and delaying his work. Frustrated, Hugo publisher responded by setting a deadline less than 6 months away. The book had to be finished by February 1831. Sometimes success is less about making good habits easy and more about making bad habits hard. This is an inversion of the third law of behavior change. Make it difficult. If you find yourself continually continually struggling to follow through on your plans, then you can take a page from Victor Hugo and make bad habits more difficult by creating what psychologists call commitment device. There are many ways to create a commitment device. You can reduce overeating by purchasing food in individual package rather than in bulk size. You can voluntarily ask to be added to the banned list at casinos and online poker sites to prevent future gambling stress. I have even heard of athletes who have to make weight for a competition choose to leave their wallets at home during the week before waiting so they won't be tempted to buy fast food. Commitment devices are useful because they enable you to take advantage of good intentions before you can fall victim of temptation. Whenever I am looking to cut calories, for example, I will ask the waiter to split my meal and box half of it to go before the meal is served. If I waited until the meal came out and told I'll just eat बस तेरी खाली खड़े खड़े रहने का पूरे महीने का a commitment device is a choice you make it there are many ways to create a commitment device. As another example, my friend and fellow habits expert near EL purchased an outlet timer, which is an adapter. Then he plugged in between his internet router and the power outlet. At 10 p.m. each night, the outlet times cut off the power to the router. When the internet goes off, everyone knows it is time to go to bed. Commitment devices are useful because they enable to you to take advantage of good intentions before you can fall victim to temptation. Whenever I am looking to cut calories, for example, I will ask the waiter to split my meal and box half of it to go before the meal is served. If I waited until the meal came out and told myself I'll just eat half, it would never work. The key is to change the task such that it requires more work to get out of the good habit than to get started on it. If you are feeling motivated to get in shape, schedule a yoga session and play ahead of time. If you are excited about the business you want to start, emails and entrepreneur you respect and set up a counseling call. When the time comes to act, the only way to bail it to cancel the meeting, which requires effort and may cost money. Commitment device increase the odds that you will do the right things in the future by making bad habits difficult in the present. However, we can do even better. We can make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. In the mid 1800s, employee theft was a common problem. Receipts were kept in an open drawer and could easily be altered or decreased. There were no video cameras to review behavior and no software to track transactions unless you were willing to over your employees every minute of the day or to manage all transactions yourself if it was difficult to prove theft. Employee theft at his store vanished overnight. In the next 6 months, Patton's business went from losing money to making 5,000 in profit, the equivalent of more than a hundred thousand today. Peterson was so impressed with the machine that he changed businesses. He bought the right to retail inventions and opened the National Cash Register Company. 10 years later, National Cash Register had over 1,000 employees and was on its way to becoming one of the most successful business of its time. The best way to break a bad habit is to make it impractical to do. Increase the friction until you don't even have the option to act. The, some action like installing a cash register pay off again and again. These these one-time choices require a little bit of effort upfront but create increasing value over time. I am fascinated by the idea that a single choice and deliver returns again and again. And I surveyed my readers on their favorite one-time action. They lead to better long-term habits. I would wager that if the average person were to simply to half do the one-time action on this list, even if they didn't give another thought or thought to their habits. Most would find themselves living a better life a year from now. These one-time actions are a straightforward way to employ the third law of behavior change. They make it easier to sleep well, eat healthy, be productive, save money, and generally live better. Of course, the power of technology can work against us as well. Being watching becomes a habit because you have to put more effort into stop looking at the screen than to continue doing so. Instead of pressing a button to the next episode, and Netflix or YouTube will autoplay it for you. All you have to do is keep your eyes open. Technology creates a level of convenience that enables you to act on your smallest whims and desire. At the mere suggest of hunger, you can have food delivered or to your door. At the slightest hint of boredom, you can get lost in the vast expanse of social media. When the effort required to act on your desire becomes effectively zero, you can find yourself slipping into whether impulse arise at the moment. The downside of automation is that we can find ourselves jumping from easy task to easy task without making time for more difficult but ultimately more rewarding work. During the year I was writing this book, I experimented with a new time management strategy. Every Monday, my assistant would reset the password on all my social media accounts, which logged me out on each device. All week I worked without distraction. On Friday, she would send me the new password. I had the entire weekend to enjoy the social media. I had to offer until Monday morning when she would to do it again. One of the biggest surprise was how quickly I adapted within the first week of locking myself out of social media. I realized that I didn't need to check it nearly as often as I had been, and I certainly didn't need it each day. It had simply been so easy that it had become the default. Once my bad habit becomes impossible, I discovered that I did actually have the motivation to work on more meaningful tasks. After I removed the mental candy from my environment, it becomes much easier to eat the healthy stuff healthy stuff when working in your favor. Automation can make your good habit inevitable and your bad habit impossible. It is the ultimate way to lock in future behavior rather than relying on willpower in the moment. By utilizing commitment device strategy, one-time decision and technology, you can create an environment of inevitable, a space where good habits are not just an outcome you hope for, but an outcome that is virtually guaranteed. So this was the end of chapter 14. Now here is the summary of this chapter. There are again a 5 bullet point. First, the inversion of the third law of behavior changes make it difficult. Second, a commitment device is a choice you make in the present that locks in better behavior in the future. Third, the ultimate way to lock in future behavior is to automate your habits. And fourth, one-time choice like buying a better mattress or enrolling in an automatic saving plan are simple actions that automate your future habits and deliver increasing returns over time. Fifth and last, using technology to automate your habits in the most reliable and effective way to guarantee the right behavior. So for this summary, we have end of the chapter 14. Tomorrow we'll continue. We'll start chapter 15 and finished. And guys, till the time, be practice, continue, read out and loud. And if you really need to talk to someone, you can ping me, message me, or comment me. Number is 98739 76739. Thank you.